Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to Hera English School, Hera channel. Today in history we are going to see lesson number 3, that is applied history. A study to determine how useful the knowledge of history is for the benefit of the people in the contemporary as well as the future times. Contemporary means just now the time what it is. Okay. It provides a guidance in finding the solutions to the contemporary social issues, whatever the issues or the problems of today's life, and that of the future can be solved because of the history. Applied history, that is, it is also called as the public history, as it is related to the history and its knowledge to the social planning. Why we need to study the applied history? Because it finds solutions to the social changes. It helps in decision making related to the social welfare. It can be useful for the people for future planning. Now, participation of the common people in the projects and programs related to the applied history, how they are related. For example, if we see the tourist visits or the museums or the ancient sites visited by the tourist, or tourist helps create interest in history. People take part in conservation and preservation of their own cities and villages. Now this is what is applied history. Now we will see 3.2, that is applied history and research in various fields. The way our present is shaped depends on the historical chain of the events which have taken place. Now these events are related to various fields like the politics, science, technology, philosophy, and social religious structures of the community. Now the future development of all these fields depends on the state of available knowledge. Whatever knowledge we have got, from that we see the development of these areas. Now every field has its own history as it is based on the knowledge. Suppose we take the example here is that of the Wright brothers. They made the first aeroplane, as we know. Now these aeroplane, now we see whatever the machinery or the latest technology or model of the planes is totally different than that of the Wright brothers what they had made. Now why there is a difference? Because the people who have gone through the research method, they have seen what development should be there and the new technology should be utilized. They need to see the first plane that was Wright brothers had made that and find out the demerits or some mistakes what were there in that, and then they improved upon it. Likewise, the improvement continuously goes on with the help of the research method, because they can see what was there first in the history and then they go on finding the mistakes in that and then improve upon it, and that is what is called as applied history. That is, whatever the mistakes last time, they need to improve on that and then they need to do this kind of work, and this work is done in every field, not only one field. Now let us see the first field where the application of the research method of history is utilized, that is philosophy. To understand the origin of various ideologies, intellectual traditions and their development, history of philosophy is very helpful. In order to understand the philosophical expressions, knowledge of history of language is useful. Philosophy is considered as the origin of the science, and all the branches of knowledge were discovering the origin of universe. The whole society has put forth the different stories legends, ideas about gods and goddesses, rituals, and different ways of worship. The origin of the philosophy lies in these thoughts. So there are different kinds of cultures, different kind of people, different kinds of belief, and different religions all over the world. They follow a particular kind of a philosophy, and that is why we see the research method is needed in the philosophy. The next term which we are going to see is the research method of history in science. As I gave you the example of Wright brothers, it is also one of the examples for science. To understand the chronological order of the scientific discoveries, theories, and inventions, the history of science is helpful. You must be seeing now the evidences that prove regarding the historical ways for how the human being was first and how it got developed in the different kinds of ways, and we see the many of the genus and the species of man like Homo sapien, Homo erectus, and many more. So what is this? This is a kind of a study, a historical way, the study, the research method of history. It can help to understand the cause-effect chain that led to those discoveries and invention. Whatever the inventions that have taken place in a chronological order or how they came to be being, that is the cause-effect chain. What does it mean? That means anything, whatever was discovered because of the need was there of that thing. Now, technology we will see. It helps to understand the changes and their causes in the field of agriculture productions, commodity productions, architecture, and engineering. Now the technology as it developed, there were various different ways. Last time the plows were handled by the farmer. Now we see there are big tractors and hybrid qualities of seed which gives more production to the farmers. Then we have the architectural technology. Last time with the help of the mud the houses were constructed. Now we have a different kind of thing, different materials like cement and different more varieties of these things. That is the whatever the research or the technology which developed. And now we see the big buildings made, skyscrapers which are made, and then we see regarding the engineering. So all this is regarding the technology. It also helped to understand the evolution of mankind from making of the stone tools like mastering the technologies of agriculture and mechanization of productions. We further move on to the next topic, that is industry and commerce. How this research method of history is utilized here. The nature of human relations and the social organizations has continued to change along with the change in the market and the commerce. To understand these changes and development, it is necessary to study the history of social organizations, culture, and financial managements. Okay. Next topic which we are going to see is management studies. Anything, whatever organization is there, it has a firm management which gives out the orders and that are being followed to make the university or any of the institute successful. It is important to have the knowledge of functional system of the past. That means the administrative system last time, how it was, how the things were managed, how the factories were managed, how the crude things were there. All these has to be learned from the older generations. So that is what the history research method of management study is needed. To understand the change and the development in the social organizations, culture, and financial managements, history is very useful. Now let us see about the arts. Now, in the olden times, the people used to have their expressions through the first of the evidence of the arts were seen in the caves. In the caves, the paintings were there of the hunting animal, peoples all crowded and hunting the animals. These all were the first evidences of the arts. Then we see many of the sculptures and many of the designs and the colors which were utilized at that time, and then how the improvement in each of the section of the arts that improved. To understand the development of various art forms and their style of expression in the form of intellectual, emotional, cultural, traditional study of arts. History is very important in this branch. Now we are going to see about the humanities. To understand the development of history, archaeology, sociology, anthropology, political science and economics, it is important to study the history of origin of these disciplines. Further, we move on to see 3.3 Applied History and our present. Now, history of heritage. The visible and invisible relics of the past exist in the present, and these relics represents the creative thoughts and traditions of our ancestors. It is our heritage which gives us the identity. It is necessary to preserve and conserve not only for our benefit but also for the benefit of our generations to come. Suppose the monuments are there. If they are being destroyed or broken or continuously being harassed, or some scrapping is done on the old heritage forts and all, they will break, and when they will break there will be no use in the next generation. There will be no proof of it and nobody will be there to tell about that things. So we need to preserve such kind of monuments which are about to be broken or they are on the edge of that breaking. So for that we need to have a preservation of such kind of heritage so that our future citizens can also see that and study from it about the history. Now, use of the applied history to conserve and preserve the tangible and intangible heritage. Okay. Now, in the tangible heritage there are monuments, buildings, artifacts, manuscripts, sculptures and paintings. Now in the intangible cultural heritage, what we have, intangible means it is not actually in the form of any structure or solid structure. It is just the folk tales or the songs or the stories and the traditional ways of the knowledge and the dresses and the costumes of the people and the rituals which are celebrated by the people and the festivals and the styles of the performing arts, like Kathakali is there or Kuchipudi dance is there, or many of the dances are there in many different parts of our country. Now certain traditional skills, communities, groups we represent, such tradition, costumes and skills, they are all coming under intangible cultural heritage. And what are natural heritage? Natural heritage are the fauna, flora, ecology, geomorphic characters. That means the animals and the plants in different kind of environment, how they were living and how they survived, their history is all coming under natural heritage. Inshallah, we'll continue next time. Jazakallah.